Okay, so welcome everyone. My name's Jason. I'm going to be the webinar moderator today. If you can hear my voice, can you type yes in the chat? Wonderful.
You've got to believe it. When you believe it, you're going to instill that belief in them. And that's what it takes. That's the process. That's the selling process right there. You're always communicating with another person's mind. Conscious, subconscious. Maybe spend some time. Don't just think of this as a sale. I want you to really think about how you would live if you got this working away. The kind of house you'd live in, the vacations you take. Where would you live? How would you live? You see, our problem is we don't think that way often enough because we can't afford it. You make the decision, and then the way will be shown. I guarantee you, when you make a decision to take a very little bit of money and say, I'm going to bet on me on this. Because you don't just get the program, you get me. I'm the added value. I'm going to make damn sure you're using this the way it has to be used. And I know how to do it. Because I'm doing it. I work directly with the people that originated all this.
I was asking specifically Bob, when it's the good time to use fear of loss to move a prospect into action. And what he told me, he says, I never do that. The only thing I use is hope of gain. I make sure that I found out what is the desire from the prospect. And by utilizing emotional intelligence, I move the prospect into action toward what they really want. And this is exactly what you're going to learn through this process. I've been in sales for over 20 years and I've been pretty good, but I never been as good as how I am. And when I started utilizing this process, which is absolutely changing my entire life, my family's life, and the income that I'm getting now because I'm utilizing this methodology. There's great power of learning to sell emotionally, but with great power comes great responsibility. So you will have to always sell a product to the client because that is for his greater good of his life, his family's life, and humanity. So I'm looking forward to start working with you. I've been working at this for quite a while now. You see this? This is a sign of recognition from my mentor that I'm one of his top consultants in the world. And you will learn the very same thing that he taught me that made me one of the top consultants in the world. So I'm looking forward to start working with you. Click the link right now. Do not hesitate. Just do it. You will see your life's gonna change, your income's gonna change, and you're gonna become the richest salesperson.
Wonderful. So that was just a really great intro to set the stage for what we're going to be going over tonight. So again, my name is Jason Whaley. I'm a member of Mark's team, and so I'm going to be your webinar moderator tonight. And so really, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to put them in the chat, and I'll be looking through them and selecting great ones to, ask Mark, and he'll be able to answer them during the Q&A session of today's event. So we've really made this more of like a fireside chat kind of setup where Mark is going to be really just sharing some deeper insights with you and really show you what is that hidden secret that the top 1% of salespeople utilize to really be the best in their field. And so let me just share a little bit about Mark in case you don't know who he is. So as you saw in the video, Mark, he is one of Bob Proctor's top 1% inner circle consultants, and he's been in sales for over 20 years. And in the initial part of his career, his results were very up and down. He was doing good and doing not so good, and it wasn't just very consistent. And it wasn't until he started working with Bob Proctor and encountering this really advanced sales material that he really started to make it big and become part of Bob's inner circle of excellence. And it seemed like all of the odds were against him, because Mark was living in Mexico for a period of time for around 17 years. And he was living in a very tiny beach community with hardly any business owners. He didn't really speak the language. Yet, despite all those odds, Mark still made his way to the top and becoming the best of the best. And it was all because of this material. And now Mark, he lives with his family in beautiful Mallorca, Spain. If you know the tennis player, Rafael Nadal, he lives there as well. So it's a beautiful port city, and he's able to create this life doing what he loves, helping other salespeople succeed. His company operates worldwide. He stays in the best hotels, flies first class, and ultimately is able to create this beautiful life of luxury and abundance. And the whole point of Mark wanting to share all of this with you is to impress upon you that if he was able to do it, you absolutely can do it too. And so congratulations for all of you for showing up today, and you're going to be in for a really great treat. So I want you to all focus, pay attention, listen to what Mark is going to be sharing, and of course, thinking about how you can apply this great material to what you're doing. And of course, if you have any questions, be sure to type them in the chat. Awesome. So get ready, and I'm going to bring on Mark. So let's give a warm welcome to Mark. Say welcome, Mark, in the chat.
Thank you so much, Jason. I'm so thrilled to be with you today. And I brought you here in my kitchen, actually. We're gonna do this very informal. I didn't want to be formal and have a jacket and on, because what I want to share with you is selling is the most amazing profession that you can be involved with. It can be done anywhere. The only thing that you need nowadays is a phone. And if you have a phone and that you're really good at what you're doing, you will be able to earn the type of money that you want, traveling the way that you want, and living a true abundant life. And how do I know that? Because I've done it. And everything that what Jason shared with you, it's not designed to impress you. It's designed to impress upon you that if I've done this, you can do it too. Because you heard what he said. What you haven't heard is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a very poor background. I grew up into paycheck to paycheck. At some point, we didn't have anything to eat. My father, I remember one story. My father tried to do some bread, and it was so hard. It was like this. Couldn't bite in it. Actually, I hurt my teeth when I was trying to bite in it. And then we throw all this in the garbage. And my father looked at me and he said, like, wow, we're gonna have to do something now. Because my father was really proud. He didn't want to go and ask for help. But at that point, he was like, okay, I am out of resources here. We're gonna need some help. So this is where I'm coming from. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You can always make your life better. And that is a word that I want you to really embrace today, better. And through this process, through that secret weapon that the 1% are utilizing, that is one thing that they are really good at, is they getting better and better at their craft every single day. So we've got a few people here. I don't know if you can hear me properly. If you can, I want you to say something, and don't give me something like just like, yes, I can hear you, Mark. Just send me like a crazy emoji, right? If you can put an emoji into the chat, then that would be great. This is the right way of doing this. This is truly how that we can have fun with this. Yes, I love it. Raymond just sent like some fireballs, and I have people sending some scary face. I don't know why. I'm not that scary. But we're gonna really have a lot of fun, and I'm gonna give you like that little thing that it's really powerful, and it's really giving you why you are capable of connecting with someone and why you're capable of really going to the next level. So this is the richest salesperson. That is a course that we designed because we saw that there was a need for people to really understand how can I truly make the results and get the results that I want. Because we can go ahead and we can get moving and we can have some skills, which I did that for 20 years, but I only started to get the type of results that I really wanted when I started working with this methodology. So that is the methodology I'm going to share. I'm going to give you a piece of it. I'm going to as well like write down on this, and I want you to take notes because that's really important. You need to understand this. How can you truly bring this home and how can you apply it? Because if you do so, you'll be able to get the results that you want. So we've got a few people which are here loud and clear. I have some crazy faces and the heart emoji, the heart in the eyes. I love it. Alejandra, she said finger mistake. I don't know what it is. Oh, maybe like for the scary face. I don't know. So let's jump right into it and let's start seeing how do we utilize that secret weapon. Okay, and it's all coming by understanding who we are. Now, how do I know what people need? It's because I know myself. And because the mind works the same way in me that it works in everybody else, from the moment that I understand my mind, I will understand the mind of other people. Okay, so I will share with you that tool that I'm using every single time. Every time. Like I never go away from this. This is my main thing to sell. And I work with this every single time. And it works every time. But again, there's an entire process which we're teaching through the Richest Salesperson, through those 8 weeks of that teaching process, where that you can really bring this home and you can start getting the results that you always wanted. And it doesn't matter the results that you wanted. Maybe you want to earn 6 figures in a month. Maybe that you want to earn $1 million in a year. Maybe you want to earn $10,000 a month. It doesn't really matter what you want, because like through this process, you will see, you will get the tools to make that a reality. Okay. So let me jump right into it and start helping you to see how to utilize that. So the one tool that I use, it's called a stick figure. You might be familiar with that. I love that stick figure because it's really clear. There's no confusion with it. We can create this picture. No, we can create this picture very easily. And because we're utilizing this, it's very easy as well to create a picture in our mind. Okay, so this stick figure, you don't need a rocket scientist to do that. So that's going to represent the salesperson. That's going to represent yourself. Like the reason why you're on this presentation right now, it's because that you are a salesperson, I assume, and you're selling something. So let's represent this big part, which is your mind, and then the small part, which is your body. Now, as a salesperson, which I'm going to write this, I'm going to put like a little line here, but just to make sure to not confuse you, this is the salesperson. Okay. Perfect. So that would be you. Now, in the upper part of your mind, or like if you prefer your head, we're going to put this is your conscious mind. Okay. And then the bottom part is your subconscious mind. Now, so far so good. Not very difficult to understand, but it's paramount to really have this very clear in our mind, because when we understand this part, we're going to be able to understand what another person is feeling. Okay. And then of course we have here the body, which if you pay attention, and some of us sometimes like we realize, oh, like I'm happy that my body is tiny compared to my mind. Actually, your body is very small compared to what your mind represents. So just make sure that you are good to your mind, and then you are taking care of your body. Now the body will do exactly what the mind tells it to do. Okay, so it's really important to follow that. Now some of you are listening to this and you're just like, Mark, what is this has to do with sales? You're going to see this in a moment. Now this is the salesperson. Now guess what? Your prospect has the same. Believe it or not, your prospect will have the exact same feature. Okay, just need to bring this closer. There you go. So your prospect will have a mind as well, which will consist the same, it will have the same type of feature. So it will have, you know, a body as well, and will have some legs, and so there's no difference there with your prospect. So understand this. Maybe it could be like a little crooked, it doesn't really matter, but it will have a conscious mind and will have as well a subconscious mind. And of course, a body. So understanding that your prospect has the exact same thing that you have, it's paramount, because when you understand how you function in your own way, you understand how your prospect function. Okay, so let's put here prospect. Perfect. Now we communicate at 3 different layers simultaneously, and this is one key element into how that we are creating. So it's very important now that you're following what's happening. Okay, so we communicating at 3 different layers simultaneously. We communicating through our conscious mind, so my conscious mind to the prospect conscious mind. I communicate through words. So whatever I'm saying, which right now I'm communicating with you, so the words I'm communicating to you, like you're receiving it consciously with your conscious mind. Okay, I communicate as well at the conscious level through gesture. So like you see me moving, you're observing what I'm doing, so there's gesture. And I'm communicating with my prospect at the conscious level still through writing, which like basically that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, all this happened consciously. This is the physical evidence of a communication between a prospect and a salesperson. That is where it's happening. Okay, now at the subconscious level we are communicating too, and this is very, very important. Okay, at the subconscious level we are communicating through energy. This is what we cannot see. That's the unseen. And we're communicating through the body, through basically handshake. So when you're going to see a prospect and you're having a handshake with the prospect, and then there's, for example, a disconnection at the subconscious level. For example, maybe you're feeling sick, maybe you're feeling sad because like you had a fight with your spouse at home, maybe something have happened that you haven't fixed, but you're carrying this with you. When you're touching the prospect knows that without even realizing that you are transmitting this. So what is happening in most cases is because we are not understanding that we're communicating through all of these at all time. There's a disconnection between everything that we're saying and how that we're feeling. So if I'm saying, you know, I really want to help you. So consciously at this level here, right here, okay, I am saying, you know, I really want to help you. And then the prospect here says, I want your help. Consciously, we are connected. Everything is at the same level. But subconsciously, like emotionally, I'm thinking, I really want to have that deal. I really need that deal. I need to pay my rent. I need to send money to my ex-wife. I need to like buy this thing for my daughter. There's Christmas coming. So you are having all of this emotion at the subconscious level. What the prospect is feeling there is like, he doesn't really want to help me. What he wants is just my money. Now, they're not realizing this. They're not understanding this consciously. What they are having is just a feeling. Like there is something which is not right. Because there's a disconnection here at this level. All this is what we say in French. We would say it's brouillon. So it's all like this. It's not clean. It's not a nice vibration. It's all brouillon. It's all disturbance. So probably even with that first handshake that you gave to your prospect, because you're not connected, because you're not on the same frequency, because all of this alignment between what you're thinking, your words, your gesture, your writing, and what you're feeling through your body and the handshake, there's a disconnection to those three, and you're passing this on to the prospect, and you lost the sale even before that you even started. And that, my friend, most people lose sales even before that anything starts, because they haven't understood how their mind works and how to truly sell emotionally. We heard that so many times. You need to sell emotionally. You need to sell emotionally. But what does selling emotionally means? That is what it means. As I mentioned, I've been in sales for 20 years. And I remember my manager was always, oh guys, you need to sell emotionally. And it's just like, okay, so I need to have enthusiasm, and I need like to be like very happy and all those things. And they were pointing out people which was hype, and that they were just, you know, being hype. But what they did not understand is they had an alignment between whatever they said, how they moved, and what they were writing with the way they were feeling. And the movement that they were taking, and asking for the credit card, giving the handshake, touching the prospect, all of those things were in sync because they were in sync. But from the moment that you are not aligned between your words, your gesture, and your writing, and the vibration that you are, and the movement of your body, then you are losing the sales. And that's where most sales are getting lost. Is there any questions about this piece here? Because that is very, very important. This is where the deal happened, and this is where the deal is lost. And if you're not understanding this, you will not be able to become the greatest salesperson that you want. You will not be able to earn that $10,000 a month, or that $100,000 a month, or that $1 million a year. It will not happen. Because everything starts by understanding how your mind works and how your prospect works. But to understand how your prospect operates, you need to understand how you operating yourself first. That's where everything is. So I want to hear, what is your question? What are you seeing out of this? How can I help you to bring this information down so you can start getting the results right now?
Okay, so Mark, we have a question from Nico. He asks, how do I influence my subconscious to sell emotionally?
That's a very good question. Basically, you don't influence your subconscious mind. You need to get emotionally involved with what you're doing. That is how that you're going to do that. So in other words, if you're doing something just because you want to go by, like, there's not going to be love. Like, love is resonance. Like, really, love for me is what is the most important part. Is when you are in love with what you do, you will start to really create and change that state of vibration and really align what you're doing with what you're thinking. And then you have that connection. Like, so it goes from top to bottom. So whatever is your dreams, your vision, what you're after, if you have love attached to this, automatically you will change your state of vibration in your body, and all this will be aligned. I hope that this answers your question, Nico. Good to have you here.
Yes, and then we have a question from Raymond. He asks, what can you do before a call to align yourself?
Well, this is really, really good. I believe that it should be always, before to go into a call, before to go into a sales presentation, you should always take a moment and just center yourself. That is so, so important. You want to center yourself. You want to get back into being present, and just focus on be of service. If you are focusing on be of service, of giving, you're setting up one of the main law, which is the law of circulation. And the law of circulation is like, it starts with the giving. So that is what I do personally, is before going into calls, before going into a sales presentation, before anything, I always put myself to ease. I put myself at peace. I'm focusing on what I have in front of me. I don't think about anything else. I don't think about like what's coming in half an hour, or what do I have next on my agenda. I'm fully involved into what I'm currently doing. And by doing this, basically, you are putting yourself out there. You are raising your vibration, and you're going to be very emotionally involved with what you're going to do. I hope this helps.
Yeah, and that ties in with what Colin shared. He said setting an intention to help others while getting into the sales encounter helps a lot, for sure.
There you go. There you go. Like, that's exactly, you know, it's like if I kind of felt it, we were just on the same vibration. There you go. Where he says like remaining present in the moment is key. Absolutely. You've got to be present. If you're not present, when you're doing something, you're missing the boat. You're not living. You're living either in the past or in the future. But the only time you have is now. The only time that you can really control is this moment right here, right now. So make sure that you are present at all time with what you're doing. Indeed, I love that. Any other questions that you have?
So, Mark, what are some things that people can do when they're in the middle of the sales calls and they feel their vibrations slipping up?
Well, it's, you have to show up. Like if you're, you know, you're right in the middle of it and you're feeling that everything is going sideways, just make sure that you are showing up. In other words, like everything goes sideways, you're feeling you're losing it. And I can share some example about that. One particular case, I was on a sales call, and I mean the call was going wrong, like A to Z. There was absolutely nothing going my way, and there was no connection with the prospect. And one thing that we're teaching through the sales course is to make sure that you know where you are in your sales presentation. And as I was going through this, then I realized, you know what? I'm going to start again. So I went right back from the beginning, and I started like from right the beginning, and I started helping the prospect to really see the value of what I was talking about. And all of a sudden the prospect was like, oh, that's exactly what I need, and then purchased right on the spot. But half an hour into the call, like there was nothing happening. There was no connection. There was no nothing. So it doesn't matter where you can be. You can be like losing the prospect. Just make sure that you're there, that you're present, and realize as well where you are in your sales presentation. And if you feel like, you know, I mess up everything, you have the right to start back the presentation from scratch, like if it never happened. And by doing this, most likely what you're going to do is you're going to change your vibration, you're going to change the way you feel, and then you'll be able to align those 3 steps that I was sharing with you a moment ago. I hope that answers your question. Like Colin is saying, you can be there physically, but if you aren't there mentally or emotionally, the prospect is going to pick that up real quick. But that's exactly what we're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, so
Do we
everyone
have
definitely
more?
take advantage of this time to ask Mark maybe any questions that you have related to things you have going on yourself. And this is a great time to share, and I'm sure everyone else may have similar questions as well.
Yeah, if you do have a question, we do have another 5 minutes that we're allowing for questions. And then we're gonna share with you what we have in store for you, okay? So if you have more questions, it's time. I'm there. I have some time for you, like to answer you personally. Sometimes, you know, we have a question and then we think, yeah, I may, that's maybe not a good question, and I don't want to look stupid. Listen, there's no stupid question ever. There can be some stupid answers, but there's never a stupid question, because if you have a question, that means that someone else, you might have picked that question because someone else has the same question. But if you have that question, that means that it's going to be good for the majority. It's going to be good for the greater good. So never be scared of asking questions. And sometimes it might feel that, yeah, I'm not sure if I should ask that question. But sometimes the answer will raise something, will raise an awareness in your mind that can change everything.
Well, Raymond's asking, how can I join your sales team?
That's an interesting question. That is a private conversation that we need to have.
But good on you, Raymond, for asking a question.
Very good. We'll have a talk on the side. So let's say you're doing something like a door-to-door, such as myself. Whenever a potential client opened the door and I start going into my initial presentation, how would you go about getting them to listen rather than just saying not interested within the first 10 seconds of the encounter? Well, this is very good, Colin. It's because that you're missing one piece of how to break that part. Because every time that you're going to go into, I mean, you're talking about door to door, which is, by the way, this is the greatest way to create stamina. Very, very powerful. If you can succeed in door to door, you can succeed in anything. But you're missing that first element, that every time that you encounter a prospect, you are creating disturbance, even if you have an appointment. So this is something that we're teaching through our course, The Richest Salesperson. And that will help you to really understand the process of the sale, because you're missing one piece. You're missing that introduction piece, which I don't have all the time to explain this to you right here, right now. But the moment that you are having that piece there, everything will change. But that is one thing that you need to have this, because every time that you encounter a prospect, whether you have an appointment or not, you are creating disturbance. So realizing that, you need to be able to create an interest very quickly. And you need to create that attention very quickly. And that is one thing that, again, I don't have all the time to explain this right now, but that's something that we're teaching. I hope this helped, Colin.
And Nico is asking, what are some best tips to sell to venture capital investors in a B2B structure?
Well, first of all, you need to talk to the decision maker. Like, first thing, decision maker is the first person that you have to talk to. Often in a business structure is we are talking to the people that are unable to make the decisions, and then we're doing our sales pitch to them, and then, like, you know, everything come to a stall because they're not able to make decisions. And then they have to go to see, and then they have to sell the other guy, which they don't have the information. So that's the very first thing. You need to talk to the decision maker. But in this case, there's no difference selling a high business, a big, huge product, that it is to sell a one-on-one. No difference whatsoever if you talk to the right person. And that is where, that would be my best tip, is you need to find who is the right person to make that decision. Just to give you an example, I just came back from a trip in Mexico where that I've been working with a company for 3 years now with a lot of their agents. And I just got introduced to the CDO, the Chief Distribution Officer. So now I'm talking with the man. I'm talking with the one that can make the decision that we can really do something. But until that, I was going there, I talked to a few people in between, was nothing happening. Like, a lot of talk, no action. But finally, I got that meeting and went to the office, had a handshake with him, sat down with him, and now there's a process in place. Now we can start. But the presentation I did to him was the same that I would have done with any other person, right? There's no difference. Now he's the decision maker. Now he can make the call. I hope this helps. So this is what we have for you. And this is what I want you to do. And I want to work only with serious people, right? If you're not serious, now it's time to just go. But if you're serious, if you really start, if you really want to get to that level, if you really want to start earning good money, if you really want to like get that $10,000 a month to that 6-figure a month, now it's your chance. Okay, what we're going to do, because like what I have for you, like everybody needs it, but you need to want it. That is where it all starts. You need to want to get to where you want to go. So this is what I want you to do. We're going to put a link into the chat, and I want you to go to the link. I want you to click on it, and I want you to get into the Richest Salesperson. Now it's going to be like a million different reasons why you shouldn't do it, but don't listen to this, because I talked to Bob once and I was asking, like, Bob, what do you think like makes people not reach their goal and not advance? He says, because they are doubting, they're letting their paradigm and their dream get stillborn. So they have an idea, they know what they want to do, but when it's time to take action, in the first 30 seconds, they're not taking the action. And the idea dies right there. And I was like, wow. It's just like, he said, I say this on seminars all the time, and people think that I'm harsh. I'm not harsh. This is the truth. Actually, the indecision is a decision. It's you deciding not to move forward. You're deciding not to succeed. So what is going to be? Are you playing to win? Or are you playing not to lose? Because the wealthy people, the 1%, what they're doing is very clear. The 1% every single time is never thinking about debt. Actually, they're leveraging debt. If they have like an investment to be made, they're not thinking about, oh, like how much it's going to cost me. They're thinking about what is going to be my return. So if you're investing today in yourself, how much are you going to get back out of it? How much more sales are you going to get out of it? How much faster are you going to get where you want to go? Or you're going to let your ideas and your dream get stillborn? What's going to be? So that is what I want you to do. So Jason's going to put the link into the chat right now. And you can buy right here, right now. I want you to click on that link. I want you to go there and I want you to purchase. And what you're going to feel is you're going to feel like so good about it. You're going to like, you know what? I'm going to change all this. And you're going to have me and Bob teaching you how to sell. I learned this from him. He taught me that. And that is why I am where I am right now. This is why I'm part of the 1% of his company. This is why I'm part of the inner circle and the circle of excellence. Because I follow his lead, I bought his program, I follow everything that he said, and it works every single time. So I want you to do the same, and you can thank me after. Not because I'm getting any praise and all those things out of it. That's not what I'm looking for. I want you to succeed. And this program will make you succeed. I promise you that. Okay? So this is what we have for you today. I'm extremely happy and grateful for you to have taken your time and connect with us and be on this call and be open and willing to make a change and to start earning the money that you deserve. My name is Marcus Pitt. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you next time. Cheers.